250 million to just walk away and do something else, let me just take the platform and take it from there, would you take it?
We won't, because we know the value that we're bringing to the market.
I ask you that question because you value this business at 500 million naira. After 6 months of an idea that many people have started.
Like, okay, this pitch particularly got me speechless. Like, this
We want to partner with a lion that understands.
This response.
Partner, then come with a valuation that makes sense to the lion.
This explains that these lions are not our mates. They are not our mates. Like, not at all. Not at all. Guys. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Like, listen, guys. There's a lot of things that we get to see in this Lions Dens that really helps us come back to reality when it comes to looking at our ideas, looking at our business, and getting an outside perspective of what people think about your business. And guys, there's a lot to talk about in this particular episode of the Lions Den Season 2. And one of the things that I'm going to tell you in this particular pitch, especially the first one from the Nighton Group, the Nighton clique, the Nighton crypto new market era, I would say one of the things that really shocked my spines was seeing how the Lions blatantly all opted out from that deal, even though it looked mind-blowing. Presentation looked firebound. Everything was coming out right, like hot. And in my mind, I was like, okay, it looks like these guys are going to make a deal out of all this at the end of the day. But the shocking surprise, okay, I think that is that is a grammatical blunder. The shock for me and the blunder for them was just bringing in too much of that. I think they were accused for a lot of things. But if there's anything I'm going to say was wrong with that pitch, I think the youthful exuberance was actually one of the many pitfalls I found while listening to the pitch from the Nighton Group. So guys, we had 3 entrepreneurs coming to the den. As usual, you know how it is. Entrepreneurs come in, pitch their business, and try to see if they can get an investment. It was a loud episode. I'm here with all the story as usual. If you're in for it, thank you for stopping by. This in this space, we talk about reality shows and real-time stories. Please subscribe by clicking on the red subscribe button right now. Don't forget to turn on the post notification bell, as this will always help you know every time I share new content. So guys, I will just do it how I do it, give you the full story and then tell you what I think about everything that actually went down. So we actually had 3 entrepreneurs, and the first group was Nighton, and then the second was a food business, the third was a footwear business. This time we actually had 3 entrepreneurs. So but the beginning of the show started with us actually having like a biography, like Kiari Buka talked about himself, how he had grown his business, how he had started, where he scored. It was quite mind-blowing. Previously we had actually seen Bolaji. Guys, I think I'm going to be doing a special video for that particular episode. So it will be Meet the Lions, and then I'll talk about what I feel about each of these lions. So what I'm going to do for that particular introduction and talk on that, because there was a lot that was shared, I would take my time to talk about that when all the other lions have actually shared their profile. So guys, let's get into what went down in the den. Let's talk about it. So guys, looking at the first sort of entrepreneurs who got into the den, the Nighton team e-commerce platform, where it's going to be like a cryptocurrency market where people can buy with coins, the crypto space, owned by a Nigerian for Nigerians, and both in diaspora. So they actually valued their company. I think their names is so Tony, Praise, and Zane were the 3-man team who appeared in front of the Lions. And guys, they were asking for 50 million naira for the Lions to join them in building the first e-commerce platform that would be able to trade in the crypto market. And guys, their pitch was very fantastic. They said they had 100 million naira worth of crypto that they were going to be launching. They said a lot of things. It did sound like a very brilliant idea. It did look like a business idea that was going to really sell and scale very fast. And guys, there were a lot of interesting conversations that happened. And I love to follow it, and I have my note here. I'm going to be looking down so that I don't forget any of the conversation that actually took place. So guys, one of the things that was said was okay, before I go into what was said, I'd say one lesson we all need to learn as entrepreneurs is that we need to understand that no matter how exciting our idea is, people probably will not understand it for different reasons. And I think one of the reasons why this particular business did not get any kind of investment is because you all know that the blockchain industry, the crypto market, is actually at a very controversial state, especially in a country like Nigeria. But that's not really an excuse why the Lions wouldn't have invested, because I know they can invest in it. But I'm just saying that some of the reasons why people can get biased over a business idea is probably how controversial it is, how you presented, how the presentation was done, their perception, your story, if there is a connectivity to what you've said and what they believe in. I think this is literally why anybody wants to invest in business. So from my perspective, it did sound like the Nighton Group guys were bringing down some brands too, which was really, really appalling. I mean, one thing we all need to learn as business owners is that you're building your business now does not mean it's good. Okay, even if your business is going to be the best in the market, do not forget that disrespecting another business by trying to rub down one of the narratives you think is making you get better than them, bringing down and using that as a pitch publicly where people are listening, where even your competitor is going to be hearing what you're saying, where you can also be judged. I think we have to apply sense to that. I just think youthful exuberance was one of the problems that made Nighton not cash out from the den. So here is how the conversation went down. So these guys came in and they said, and one of the most interesting parts of this conversation was when they had done with their pitching, everything, the energy was really loud. And Paul asked this very interesting question. If I offer you 250 million, would you walk away from your business? And he said, no, never, blah, blah, blah. And Paul was like, but you valued your company at 500 million just within 6 months of existence. I think you're too proud. I think it's over-exaggerated. I think you are not humble enough, blah, blah, blah. So I think Mr. Paul cited that this business doesn't look like it's legit. It looks like there's too much the aggression, marketing. It's good to have aggressive marketing, but I think being realistic is very, very important. And it was just a big turn off for Paul, and Paul was like, I'm done. I'm not even going ahead. Like it was mind blowing. I never expected Paul to back out so fast. And afterwards, Paul was like, be humble and realistic. You're not humble and realistic, and these are the principles I don't see in you. Because of this reason, I'm backing out. And Paul said an idea is not enough, and he just went out. And Mrs. Adenike came in, and Adenike was like, how do you build trust? You said you're the first e-commerce store in Nigeria that's going to be doing this, working with manufacturers, sell their products online in an e-commerce platform. I think that is not a new idea. A lot of people have been doing this business. A lot of people have been bringing this business out there. It's just that it's not easy to run an e-commerce platform that is very popular. And we all know the stories behind it. So Mr. Adenike was like, how do you promote integrity in your store? How do you know that authentic products we put in the store? And one bad thing that happened to this entrepreneurs was that one of the samples of the bags it came in was the copy of a Nigerian, and Mrs. Adenike was very fast to call that out and said, you know what, I don't even see how you guys are going to be able to correct this protocol of Nigerians copy and paste is like a regular thing, and this guy's already coming with the line of we're going to be bigger than Jumia, blah blah blah. And we all know that Nigerians, yes, we know we have a lot of manufacturers in Nigeria, but the truth is that a lot of people still copy other people's products. So they had not done their homework. Clearly from the answer they had given, it was clear that they didn't even know which product was authentic, which product was fake, and that was a big red flag. And of course Mrs. Adenike opted out of that deal immediately. And Carrie engaged these guys, and Carrie was like, I like the Africanization. So when it was time for Carrie to, Carrie jumped in, and Carrie was like, I like the Africanization. Carrie was just engaging them with conversation, and just in the middle of that conversation that was happening between Carrie and these entrepreneurs, Audrey was like, you know what, the more I hear about this, the more it gets me upset. I don't invest in businesses that I don't understand. I'm out of it. And that was how Mrs. Audrey opted out. It all went like that. And, just because of the way they had done their presentation. So I think one of the things that made this business not get a deal was their presentation style. They were too aggressive. These lions are very matured. You cannot come and deceive them with your youthful exuberance. You cannot come and deceive them with how you actually present yourself and all that. But guys, when I look at this Niteon business, I think I'm going to do a special video and talk about the things I felt they would do differently in that business to make it really stand out. I saw a lot of mistakes. I actually saw a lot of potential in this particular business because it actually sounds like the future of e-commerce, marketplace and all that. In fact, one of the things I'd really want to say is they didn't have any unique selling points, aside the fact that they had introduced their coin, which is like a basic thing. But I mean, unique selling proposition is like that thing that people will see in your product and say, you know what, this is why I want to be part of it. And I think one of the missing things that these guys, when Mrs. Adenike was asking that quality control part of it and they didn't give a cogent answer, I was like, these guys are missing the point. I felt like maybe that is where they would have brought in the concept of NFTs to say, you know what, before we approve a product, maybe we tell you to bring an NFT sample of that. That would be them bringing in fact, let me never sell the ideas I have for these guys in this jumbled up video I'm doing. I'm going to do a special video because I feel I see a lot of potential, and I'll do research on this Nighton team and what they're really doing, so when I'm talking with some kind of sense and clarity. Guys, moving to the second entrepreneur. So the first entrepreneurs didn't get any form of investment whatsoever. The lions were not happy with how they had presented themselves. It sounded really unrealistic. Yes, it looked like the business was going to make money, but not as fast as they were thinking. The idea was brilliant, but it still didn't convince the lions to invest. Guys, moving to the second entrepreneur. So the second entrepreneur was David Honor from Emerald Kitchen, and he came with a nice product. I mean, he was pitching his Obono paste, pack where you just make cooking Obono very, very simple. I mean, the packaging, everything was legit fun, looked nice, looked interesting. His also background made it look like, okay, yes, he knows what he's doing. So he said he was doing this business with his wife and was asking for 20 million naira for 20%. He was asking for 18 million naira for 20% equity share. After his speech, it was just very straightforward. He wanted the Lions to invest, he wanted mentorship, and afterwards, Paul, the first question that Paul, was asked was from Paul, and Paul asked, how much does this package go for? He said 600 to 650, and and Mrs. Adenike asked if they were patronizing other chefs, if they were showing how the product was being used, and he said yes, that his wife, who is a chef, is actually taking care of that. I think I was like, I hope you're partnering with other chefs in Nigeria so that your product can get the virality it needs, and he said yes, and then the next person who hopped in to the question session was Bolaji. Was the next person who asked a question. Bolaji was like, what other products do you produce? And they said that they are trying to concentrate in their business, so they just have this particular product at the moment, and afterwards, Bolaji asked the question of how they produce this, So after Bolaji had asked them, if they had other products, the next question Bolaji asked was, how do you guys produce this? Are you manufacturing yourself? Do you have a facility? And he said, he and his wife do this in their garage, and afterwards, Bolaji was like, and how come you're asking for 80 million? 80 million doesn't look like it's going to be enough for you to take care of this, because this is like a food processing thing you're trying to run here. At the end of the day, guys, David Honor just reminded me of, there's something we call solo proprietorship. That solo entrepreneur who's doing everything by themselves. So he just reminded me of that, and I was like, if there could be delegation. I mean, I know some businesses need to start small, get some kind of direction, clarity, and then move forward. And I think that was really where Kiari actually had to save the situation. So Kiari bumped in with the question of, you know what, I like what you're doing, I'm going to make you an offer, but the offer is contingent that one lion has to join. So he was asking for 18 million. Kiari so it was like, I'm going to give you 9 million for 12.5%, which is, if we're looking at it, they're asking for 25%. So guys, so after Kiari had, Kiari agreed, he said 9.9 million for 12.5, but my only moving forward standard to go into this is that another lion must come. Now it was only KRM, it was only Bolaji that was the last lion. So if Bolaji had said no, there's no way Emerald Kitchen, Mr. David, would have gotten the deal. So Bolaji was like, you know what, I'll just do this because Bolaji just helped you out. This is not the kind of business I would have loved to invest in, but anyways, I'm happy to do 9 million, 12.5%. But the only condition is that you must agree that we're going to have a manufacturing contract signed so that you can invest more in your intellectual property of producing more of these products. And I think Bolaji really knew the problem of this business and he nailed it, while they were actually doing that offer, because he was like, this is the only standard. If you agree, we'll have a deal. And David was like, okay, I'm fine with it. And basically, I think this is where we all need to go back to what we call sole proprietorship, that business, that one-man business where you think you can produce, you can sell, you can do everything. Because when I looked at the logistics cost of traveling, I was like, of course, why not contract it to a manufacturing company and make the whole thing easy for everybody? So Bolaji actually knew the problem, and I'm very sure with the lions in that business, we're going to be seeing more. I mean, very soon, I'm very sure we're going to see something like a goosey, in a park. We're going to see maybe okra. We're going to see all the kind of subanga and all that. I don't know, but it was a nice deal. So 80 million deal went down. The third entrepreneur was a shoe designer. Her name was Utonne, and she came asking for 20 million for a 20% equity share. And she said one of the biggest features in her business, newest projects in her business, was doing the Cinderella product, sort of. She said that the project started when her auntie got down with diabetes, and she saw how she struggled to get into comfortable footwears without getting blisters. So her inspiration came from there, and she went in, had a conversation with the doctor, got ideas, and started producing this friendly medical footwear. And I think that project is really massive and huge. It's very, very interesting. And she talked about going to hospitals, and when she was just saying going to hospitals, I was like, I felt like that was a bit myopic. I don't know, but I just felt like the business sounded too traditional, and I think maybe that's why the Lions didn't give her the big shoulders to come into her business. So the first person that went on pounced on her was Mrs. Audrey. Mrs. Audrey was like, tell me your revenues. How much have you been making? He said 9.9. Her profit margins looked quite impressive. I mean, 9.9. That sounds good. And 3.5. I mean, she said she called some interesting amounts. She really said she didn't make money during the COVID pandemic because it was COVID and all that. But in total, after the wonderful pitch, all the lions spoke. Most of them were like, the business does not look scalable, and that was the reason why they did not invest. And I think this is where we also have to understand that the lions mostly do not invest in businesses they feel that are too traditional. I felt like Utono was doing a traditional business, but I feel she should just go and get a loan or something, because that project is massive and huge. That the Lions didn't say yes to her does not mean that dream should die. I think it's a very huge product, and I really would have wished Mrs. Adenike would have said, you know what, I want to invest in this one, but hey, it's her money, and she probably knows why. I mean, all those Lions are very, very, very tough when it comes to making a decision and going for any project. I mean, in fact, any entrepreneur who gets a deal then none of those deals happen by mistake. They happen because these lines are very thorough. I mean, we can tell that looking at the Nighton case. I never believed that Nighton wouldn't have gotten a deal out of the den. I'm very sure they also came with that mindset of, oh God, our idea is mind blowing. They're going to buy into it, and they were shocked. So it goes a long way to say, man, how you present your business matters a lot. I mean, I think util exuberance was just what got the worst part of the game when we look at the Nighton deal, because I really felt bad that deal did not get, because I felt like they would have gotten some guidance, clarity, mentorship, like experts who know what the onions of what it is to trade in the face like that hump into the business. And for that reason, I think I'm going to be talking more extensively about the Nighton Group. I'm going to do a research about them, find out what they're actually doing, and if it's worth it, I will come here and share more about it. But guys, which business really stood out for you among these three businesses? And let me know your thoughts in the comment section. This is literally it. I'll see you guys on my next one. For now, thank you so much for your watch time. Till I see you again. Ciao, ciao, guys.